destiny, go touch grass. It's the Big Bad Caffeinated Podcast. If you're mad, you can mow my lawn. I'll be sipping this rose, talking trash till the cartoons come on. They got debates, I got bedtimes. They chase clout, I chase snack time. P, they drop clips like the world news. I drop Legos right under their feet. Watch it, it's the Big Bad Caffeinated Podcast. Millennial dad with a mic and a laugh. I'm like your heroes while I load the dishwasher. Candace House and Destiny, go touch grass. It's the Big Bad Caffeinated Podcast. If you're mad, you can mow my lawn. I'll be sipping this rose, talking trash till the cartoons come on. Come on. Come
Well,
on.
ladies and gentlemen, to the Big Bad Caffeinated Podcast, and I am here once again covering this never-ending, I don't know what to say at this point, comedy, tragedy, drama surrounding the Quartering YouTube channel and just the ongoing, I don't know, I really don't know, I'm kind of lost for words because I did a stream the other night and I just thought, like, this drama has got to end at some point. Like, I'm sure it's over. People are going to move on. And just like Jeremy Hambly, the man who runs the Quartering YouTube channel, just cannot help but stepping on rakes. And as we're going to get into it, this is probably going to be a brief stream, but like, this just goes on further. Like, his circle of like horrific influence, like that, it's now not just destroying his own career and his own YouTube channel, it's also destroying others, and so that's what we're going to get into. And all of this really seems to kick off, like, I think one of the biggest things is, like, all of this could be avoided by Jeremy Hambly not doing anything. First of all, not drinking. That would probably be a really stellar idea if he could stop drinking and, like, posting on X. That would probably help immensely. But, like, if he did nothing at all, he would be in so much of a better position, but he can't seem to do that, probably because of the alcohol. But anyway, so, like, just, I'll try and do, like, the quickest recap I can. So, Jeremy Hambly, really successful YouTuber. Do we have a picture of him here? Here we go. Yeah, that's an AI picture, but it's pretty accurate. So yeah, he's had a massively successful YouTuber. Has been around forever, like on kind of YouTube for like basically since the beginning. So just about 20 years. Built up a really massive YouTube channel named The Quartering. Now, I'm not going to say he's the most stellar, like, content creator, because he's really not. He's a little bit boring. But anyway, most people kind of put him up with it. Not to really think he's a bit harmless. Anyway, the problem was he caught the attention of another podcast, some guys, the Kino Casino. They started to make some jokes of him. He didn't appreciate it because it kind of started to delve into the making jokes of it. Like, you know, that's just on. Are we going to go back up at all? Stream. Are we going to go back up at all? Stream is healthy. Let's try this again. And we're back again. Maybe we are back again. Alright, I'm just going to take a minute to see if I can see if we are actually live or not. Looks like we are, I believe, but it's a little bit hard for me to tell at the moment. So bear with us a moment. If you are viewing this and you can see, please, by all means, drop a comment in the chat so I can see that you are here. Because at the moment, I don't even know if I'm live or not. It does seem to indicate that I am. Yeah, I've got a green glow, and excellent. I'm just trying to see if I look at my channel here. Oh no, sorry, this is stellar. Here we go. I am indeed live. There we go. All right, cool. Does seem to be working. So that's what we wanted to see. All right. So yeah, back into it. Lost my train of thought there for a second there. So sorry, guys. Let's just catch back up. Yes. And let's go on back to it. So Jeremy, you know, had a problem with these guys making some jokes about information that he'd put out there onto the internet. And so he got their channel struck down. He got them removed. He threatened publicly to do this. And basically said, hey, I'm going to false flag you guys, destroy your whole career, your whole livelihood. And that's what he went ahead and did. And since then, there's been a whole lot of drama, because it turns out that YouTubers as a whole really don't like false flagging, because it's kind of something that affects everybody once people start doing that. People, big creators who make their whole livelihood online, their career goes, because once if you get strikes on YouTube and you get your channel taken away, that's it. Unless YouTube, you're able to convince somebody to take a look at it and actually review it, and you get your channel back, that's it, you're done. You can't just create another account and start again like other platforms. You are done. You are permanently banned. Until further notice. So it's really serious. So these guys, and so it kind of blew up in his face, because none of these people, he had a large circle of other content creators in the kind of space who had some time for him. Now they kind of washed their hands of him. It's kind of blew up in his face. Like I said, all the Kino Casino's fans started to kind of give him a hard time in his chat. So yeah, and every step of the way, he refused to acknowledge it. He deleted his tweets where he had threatened that he was going to ban them, exactly like what it happened. So even though we can't prove beyond a shadow of doubt that he actually did it, it's it happened exactly the way he said it was going to happen. So he's the number one suspect, understandably. So yeah, he's been losing a whole lot of support. People who have gone through his content discovered that, hey, his looking at his content a whole lot more closely, find out he steals other people's viral content, just puts an intro on it. There was one quite infamous video. Let's see if I got this one here. This is just kind of as an example of the kind of content that Jeremy Hambly puts out and doesn't seem to have any problem with. If we can, and I'll bring this one up because I think this is pretty relevant to some of the conversation that's going to be coming up here shortly. Here we go. And this comes from Stuttering Craig, who runs another podcast called Side Scrollers. Shout out to Side Scrollers. Definitely go give them a follow if you get the opportunity to. It's still saying chat's disconnected, so hopefully that reconnects soon. But in the meantime, we are going to soldier on. Here we go. So if I scroll this back to the start
this guy
here,
literally steals other people's videos, adds an intro to it, and then uploads it as
this is
his own.
Stuttering Craig.
What do you think of that?
But what are the oranges for? Well, I bet it tasted good. Let me know what you think.
And this is just typical, example of Jeremy Hambly, the Quarterings content. He does that quick intro there. He puts the his Quartering logo up here in the corner, and this is just somebody else's video. I don't know what the oranges were for. I guess it does something to the meat. And this one was an example of him, this really low effort, stolen content that he now gets to make money on. And ever since then, one of the big criticisms is it keeps coming back to oranges. And I'll just say that because a lot of people, kind of funny, trolling him, have put oranges in his chat constantly. Something that really seems to irritate Jeremy Hambly. He doesn't see, the free speech warrior, funnily enough, doesn't seem to see the funny side and thinks it's harassment if you put fruit in his chat. So definitely don't come in and put fruit in my chat. I'll be really upset. Anyway, so and it's kind of expanded a little bit, the sphere. There are also a few other shocking things. There was his behaviour at a Renaissance fair where he was following around women, egged on kind of by his chat, and making some lewd comments about them. Saw a woman, a young attractive woman with her children there, and he's like, oh, she's got kids, she's down to F. So it was really discussing things like that. There's a whole range of things he said about former female co-hosts on his show, where he's been completely inappropriate and got drunk and just, all these type of things here. So his kind of reputation is just going through the, is really taking a hit from all this drama, and could have been avoided if he hadn't kicked this off by saying, hey, I'm going to destroy your guy's career. Then after the Kino Casino got the channel taken down, they're like, you're never going to get rid of us. Like, we might have got bored and moved on. Now, no, this is personal. Now we are always going to be mock everything you do until you decide to pack up and leave for good, basically. So that's kind of what's going on. It's just been an ongoing thing. And the latest one just today, and also I should mention as well, he's got his podcast. He's got two women on the air that also co-host with him, Melanie Mack and Hannah Claire Bimbo. Anyway, Melanie Mack is also a content creator in her own right. Little bit of controversy, but anyway, and she put out a video, and like, because a lot of people were like, hey, you know, Melanie Mack, you've got a large YouTube following yourself. You can't be all right with your, you know, your boss, the guy who pays you to go on this podcast with him. You can't be right with him false flagging. And she kind of did a statement in her own video, kind of completely breezed over that, didn't acknowledge any of his behavior. And this is by a woman who said, like, hey, you know, if people, a fellow Christian is living in sin, if they're, you know, all these things, you shouldn't associate with them. And like, she takes these hardcore stances, but when it's Jeremy Hambly who's paying her a whole bunch of money, doesn't seem to have a problem with that, completely glosses over that. And no, her public statement was, no, the only reason Jeremy is being attacked is because he recently gave his life to the Lord, which might like hold water. I could like go along with that, accept that a little bit, except for the fact that the guy seems to be completely unrepentant of his previous behavior. Like, I'm not going to judge him for making mistakes in his past, except that he defended his shocking behavior at the Renaissance Fair. Really funny update to that dude, just like in the last 2 days, he's been banned from like every Renaissance Fair in his area, like multiple states. There's like a company that runs most of them in like all the states around his area. So it's like 3 or 4 states in America. He cannot go to any, he's permanently banned for life from any of these Renaissance fairs. So really good outcome there. Like, you know, I know this is sloppy internet drama, but like there's some good outcomes here, which is fantastic. But And at one point, he said he was going to give up drinking, and that lasted a total of 2 days, which was hilarious. And the latest drama, just waking up today, of course, apparently Jeremy was back on the drinks, and so this one here comes to us from Meme Copium. Shout out to Meme Copium, he's fantastic. Oh no, therefore I can go to the first one here. Okay, so this is the post, because once again, he drinks, posts a whole bunch of tweets on X or Twitter, whatever you like, and then deletes them all and acts like it doesn't happen. And this one here, he's, every live stream I have ever done has now disappeared from YouTube, and my podcast channel with 2 friends seem to have been banned. I'm sure it's totally not false flaggers and just coincidence, but please take a moment to create a Rumble account and following the quartering there. He's getting absolutely killed on the Rumble account, so I wouldn't. I mean, it's good fun if you want to get banned in your chat for putting an orange in there. Yeah, Jeremy Hambly, the free speech warrior, will absolutely ban you. Or if you say his common kind of catchphrase on just about every video, "How was your weekend?" If you say that, he will also ban you. It's just kind of hilarious how much he's eating himself. To be honest, it's my opinion that this is obviously because of mass false flagging from the very people who claim to be against it. These losers never cared about free speech. They are worse than anything they ever accused anyone else of. So there we go. There's a little bit of a hint that he might be drinking there to start off with. Now, he said, now if we go to Meme Copium there, the quartering after deleting his own channel and 80 plus videos is now claiming that he is being struck. This isn't the case because you can check on Social Blade, he's removed the videos from his channel. You can't lose 80 plus videos and keep your channel. This is absurd. It's honestly disgusting. He's trying to play the victim now. And it says, additionally, he has been deleting tweets all day. It's Miller time, so drinking time for them. Let's just get rid of that so we can see what we're looking at. It's Miller time, as well as his BitChute. So the idea that he is trying to sell is is all these platforms are banding together to oppress him. This story smells like a Walmart bathroom after Jeremy has had his way with it. Which is another reference to him oversharing that he once pooped his pants before he could make it to a Walmart bathroom. Stellar guy. It's just like, just all class here. Yeah, so that is that there. Now, one of the kind of, there was a little bit of a pushback on that there. Let's just go to this one here. So this post here says it was flagged. If it was flagged, it would say for policy violations. Quartering thinks he can delete stuff and cry victim. Lol. He thinks everyone is as dumb as him. So somebody's posted. It's still showing I'm subbed. So this is, I believe, on one of his other accounts on BitChute or something like that. And it's just, Jeremy's replied here, saying, so weird. I don't know what's going on, guys. So weird. Then, okay, so he on one of these channels that was deleted, he had a podcast that was known as the Incredible Salt Mine Podcast. It was done with some other creators, Beering and Count Dacula, which was 3 years ago. And here is Beering putting a post out here. He said, how did we get simultaneously banned from YouTube and Rumble, and then tagged the Quartering? And here, the Quartering, obviously drunk in a Beering's chat here. Looks like the channel is gone. Thanks for fanning the flames. Beering, great friendship. And so Beering's responded here. He says, what are you talking about? The channel hasn't been banned and has no violations whatsoever. All the videos have been deleted. I didn't do it. Dank didn't do it. That leaves you. So, like, he's just not letting him get away with this here. And so after getting proved wrong, I think he got community noted as well. And also he was deleting his tweets. It seems really apparent to anybody who was like paying attention that the Quartering was tired of like people going through his posts and his videos and picking up when he was creepy or when he'd say something stupid and like posting it about it, and that was going viral, and he was getting just mocked and destroyed mercilessly in comments and YouTube videos. So now he's like deleting his own content in order to avoid this, like really going going crazy. So now after it became really apparent to absolutely everyone, which it pretty much was straight away, to be fair, he came back and said, looks like this is 100% my fault. I was not clear on videos I wanted my editor to delete. I am working to restore what I can, and I will give the boys all the episodes of TSIM, which is the Incredible Salt Mine, to re-upload 100%. I had just been testing a theory that live streams drag channels down. So this is post. I was working off the theory that live streams dragged VODs down, and I just wanted the main channels off, old lives removed. Apparently they removed all the lives in history. I wasn't clear. Old lives don't really matter, but the Incredible Salt Mine episodes, I hope, can be saved. So yeah, like two of his former friends really pissed at him for deleting the podcast that they had worked with him for years on, and like he didn't talk to them. He just took them down. So it's like, yeah, great guy there, absolutely fantastic. Once again, Mean Copium, if you're wondering why the Quartering changed his tune like this, it's because he wanted to run with the narrative that he was a victim. Beering exposed his lie, so he had to pivot, and this is the best he could come up with. Which is absolutely, I think there's another DM there where he said to Beering, because he was blaming his friend Beering for all this, he said, you called me an effing alcoholic, which is insane. 2 days after he apparently gave up drinking, he was seen on live stream with a small bottle of Fireball in his hands. On the subject of Orange, we've got Stuttering Krieg again. I feel like I finally know what the Oranges do. Apparently, they destroy careers. This is just so fantastic. And you just scroll. You gotta give a shout out to Meme Copium, because I wasn't really able to keep up with this, and he's like, it's just looked like he's captured everything and posted it, which is really great. Once again, he was community noted here. A co-host for one of the evicted channels revealed no strikes were issued on YouTube. This content was deleted by Jeremy after he commented. And here's his former friend Beering, another great content creator. So in the space of a couple of hours, the quartering went from "the haters got our channel banned" to "this is Beering's fault for fanning the flames" to "it must be a YouTube glitch that is simultaneously deleting all of our videos from Rumble somehow" to "it's totally my editor's fault. That rascally editor did this. Whoopsie. Stop it. Get some help." So he's telling his friend here, like, mate, you need to stop hitting the booze so hard. Stop drinking and, like, sort yourself out. Which, you know, good advice, like a good friend actually tells you. And then his other friend, Count Dankula, who was also part of this post, he was located in the UK, so obviously he woke up later after that there and said, "For F's sake, love waking up seeing years of work going right down the effing tubes. The Incredible Salt Mine has been completely deleted on multiple platforms, all episodes. If me and Beering can restore it, we will, but that was shit tons of episode, and I doubt we can get them all back." Now, I did see somebody else post, I didn't see it, but there was somebody who has, like, basically been cataloging all of Jeremy's content, like his older content, to go back and review. So he reckons that he did manage to, like, archive a whole bunch of his posts. So hopefully they can all be restored. I think that'd be a really good outcome for Count Dankula and Beering at least. And then the Daily Bugle come in, Jeremy Hambly here, like, just determined to burn all the bridges down behind him. Just like, stellar move there, mate. Well done. So, in addition to all this, like I said, one of the Quartering's co-hosts, Melanie Mack, she made a video kind of defending Jeremy, not acknowledging any of the concerns about him, any of the evidence that, hey, it was Jeremy, definitely. Well, not 100%, maybe you couldn't convict him in the court of law or whatever, but, like, all his behavior, he definitely started fanning the flames towards flagging. He told, his whole audience that, if you just went through the Kino Casino's account and started flagging things, it would get taken down because he reckoned they were violating of terms of service. Couldn't point out anywhere where they had actually violated terms of service. So he definitely kicked things off. At the very least, he kicked things off. Just taking a look. Unfortunately, the chat's still, we are apparently all good. Still working, so that's good. I just wanted to see if I can, let's see if I can pop out the chat. Just want to make sure that the chat is actually up and running. It is fantastic. There we go. Successfully completed. That's right. No point. No, fantastic. Yes, so his co-host, Melanie Mack, seemed to be defending him, and people were like, just seems like none of your excuses here are holding up. Just seems like he's paying you a lot of money, and you don't really want to look into it and see what's really going on here. She said, no, that's absolutely not it, and refused to kind of go any further, but carried on doing the show with him. Which, hey, like, if that's the stance you want to take, like, sure, you can defend the guy, but, if your account gets struck down at some point, like, people may not be so, and, like, by the way, absolutely don't want that to happen to anybody, but it was happening to some former friends of hers, so it's like a little bit of an odd stance that she didn't want to seem to acknowledge that, or, do anything to try to help restore these. She was too busy defending her boss and saying, no, it's all because he's just, like, an amazing Christian guy. So that's the only reason. Now, fast forward to, I'm going to have to kind of, like I said, there was, like, these are people with millions of YouTube followers, and so they have a friends, I suppose you could say a friend circle, or, other content creators they're kind of friendly with. They go on each other's podcasts. Now, Melanie Mack has previously appeared on some other podcasts like Nerdrotic's podcast Friday Night Tights, and one of the co-hosts on there is a comedian by the name of Chrissy Mayer. Now, the first time I've kind of been heard of Chrissy Mayer was on the Friday Night Tights podcast. I thought she's really funny, at least on a podcast. Like, I've seen some of her live, her comedy gigs. Like, I think she's funny. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but at the very least on podcasts, I've always found her entertaining. So I always think that Chrissy Mayer is pretty great. Anyway, Chrissy Mayer recently had Melanie Mack on her podcast and went through. They were discussing. Apparently, the podcast was to discuss that Chrissy Mayer had recently converted to Catholicism, and they were just two women talking about their Christian faith. But of course, in the midst of this, there's all this drama going on that Melanie Mack was not refusing to talk about, other than this one video that she put out defending Jeremy, and kind of seemed to be ignoring a lot of the evidence. Like I said, there was on Jeremy's own channel, lots of people in the chat were being banned every day. They had all these moderators just clearing out the chat constantly because they didn't want anybody asking questions, and Jeremy was refusing to acknowledge or deal with it. So kind of unsurprisingly, when Melanie Mack did this this podcast on YouTube with Chrissy Mayer on her channel, the chat went nuts. And if I can find it here, the chat went absolutely bonkers asking questions. No, that one's from today. If I can find it, I should very shortly. Right, apologies, 1 second here. Here we go. So here's one example there. This is the comments, and they were largely ignoring a lot of these comments here. It's not dogpiling though, it's just observable reality of Jeremy being a creep. Oranges in the chat. Oh yes, apparently they were talking about, this is just a bunch of woke people, and not really acknowledging it all. And they said, oh yes, woke people, that is just what I am, Chrissy Mayer. Don't let this pro censorship Jenny fool you, Chrissy. Yep. And it went on. There were lots of oranges, and all these people here, excuse me, all these people here are super chats, so they'd actually paid money for Chrissy to read these. So they had questions up there for Melanie that they were wanting asked, some legitimate concerns there. And Chrissy, for some reason, seemed to behave like she was straight out pretending like she had no idea what this was about. They all were like, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't understand these questions. And it got to the point the chat was demanding another one of these, both of these women's friends was Britney Venty, and the whole chat was demanding Britney Venty come on to try and ask Melanie Mack some questions. And if I can hear, this was Chrissy Mayer's response to that there, which also was not fantastic. Here.
Down, Jer, please bring on Venty. You guys get in her ear. Tell her to respond to me. Venty wants on. I keep checking my phone. I see no messages or DM from my girl Venty.
Okay, so Chrissy Mayer, when lots of people were saying, hey, bring Britney Venty on so she can ask some questions, she's like, I'm trying, I'm checking my messages, she's not there. And then, but if we actually look at the posts there, scrolling up here, somebody commented on Chrissy's post there. Britney was willing to come on to stream to confront the S-bag, Melanie Mack, and you refused. You're a fake conservative grifter. FNT should cook you off the show. And she responded, said, Britney messaged me too late, but hopefully we can find a date soon for her to come and do an episode in studio. Britney replied and said, hey, I don't think it's really fair that I take the responsibility here. This makes me look like I am trying to dodge it, so I'm going to have to clear my name here. I messaged you on DMs, then later text, something like 40 minutes before Mel left. And Chrissy just responded and said, didn't see a message until we were done. All good, no worries. No worries, it's okay. And, so just kind of wiggling out of it. And, it was like, pretty, she just played dumb the whole time. And was like, yeah, here we go, keep me and copium again with the receipts. Not only did she lie, she was watching quartering streams 2 weeks ago while claiming she had no idea what was going on. And there we go, we have, this is a snippet from a podcast with Camelot. Who was also covering this quite a bit. And as you can see,
hello mama today, that's awesome.
There's Chrissy Mayer in the chat, commenting on a video where Camelot is talking all about the quartering and the quartering drama and his behavior and his flagging and all the things that are done. And she's actually commenting, responding to him, shows up on the screen there. But no, she had no idea what was going on, guys. No idea. So in light of this, and like she did really well, like I said, there was a lot of people paying money in super chats for her to read and ask Melanie questions, which she kind of just deflected or played dumb or acted like she had no idea what they were talking about, and Melanie just laughed it off, which I think is really disrespectful to your audience if they're like asking genuine questions and paying money to ask you questions, and you just like laugh it off. I don't know what this is about. Next question. Like I think she made something like a couple of grand in there. So fast forward to today, in acknowledgement of this, Chrissy Mayer had did a live stream. I was just about screaming watching this. I tell you what, where she responded to this, explained it from her perspective, and also later on brought Britney Venty on to ask questions as well as a couple of other friends. And I thought this is probably a good move, if you can actually explain, your perspective here, it might help you win some points because definitely you took a hit from this, considering you take all these people's money and didn't acknowledge anything. And I think, no, we're just going to jump straight to the video. I was going to show something else. There's another content creator, Jeremy Prime, Goodyear. His take on this, which is like, it's just disgusting, like disrespecting the chat, taking their money in super chats, and then not honestly asking any of the questions that they were paying you to ask. It was just deflection and, to be honest, kind of gaslighting. So anyway, so now if we fast forward to today's stream, and like, I didn't watch all of this. I'm still kind of like, I still like I said, Chrissy Mayer. I think she's pretty funny. And I kind of like seeing her on podcasts. So I don't really want to see like anything like her career take a hit or anything like that. But I had to watch, I'd go through this and I was like, when I was listening to it live, I was like, a lot of these things she's saying is not, not really fantastic. And then I've watched some of it back again since, and it's just worse. It's just so much worse than even I acknowledged. So let's get into that. Also, by the way, I thought this was funny as well. This is something that the Kino Casino pointed out. So here's her channel. Is she taking it down? Where is... I think this might just be, if I go to her channel here, her live streams. So this is, this is something that the Kino Casino pointed out. So here's the live stream with Melanie Mack that they did, discussing the two women of faith, two Christians discussing life and marriage, because Melanie Mack has just recently got married. Yay, good for her, whatever. And all this here. And, and it wasn't the place to ask any kind of these questions about drama and stuff, because these are just two Christian women wanting to talk about their faith. Then the very next day, she's got Nikki Huntsman on, who's like a porn actress who does pornography, and like she's promoting that on her show. So it's like she just talks out of both sides of her mouth quite a lot, apparently. And as we're about to see here, like it's just so bad. So I didn't even pay attention to this. If you can see here, this is the one today. Let's talk about the oranges for a bit and then other stuff. And she's got a bunch of moldy oranges in the back there. So we're going to get into this. Here we go. If the video will play, that would be fantastic as well. Oh, is there sound? Should be sound. Come on. I better not have been doing this muted all the time. No, that's not. Oh, echoey. That's not what I wanted. There we go. That's all right.
Hey everybody, my name is Frankie McDonald. You're listening to Simcast with Chrissy Mayer. I'm Frankie McDonald.
Let's just jump into this.
Whatever, full of shit, or did I say not funny? Then please give your money to somebody else. If you think there's a streamer out there that's been covering this in a way you like better, please give your money to that person. Support who you want to support here. And I need to say this up top.
Yeah, I think that's really brave message of her, by the way, to say, where she's acknowledging there. Look, if you don't think that I'm covering this fairly, when I'm just having my friend on, give your super chats to other people. Don't give them to me. Which is really stunning and brave of her to say that after she's taken like $2,000 off her listeners who were asking questions, like in good faith, that she just brushed off. It's like, great take after you've got the money in your pocket. Well done.
Top. Kino Casino needs to get his channel back. The Clips channel needs to get their channel back. All of these channels that were affected by Jeremy's actions need to get their channels back. I think it's something like 13 or 14 channels that have been deleted. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they all need to be restored. This is bullshit. People are allowed to make content. And flagging for privacy complaints is wrong. It reminds me so much of what Sniper Wolf would do with the stealing content too. Stealing content is wrong.
So here she's at the very least she's acknowledging that Jeremy has messed up and done things wrong.
You can't just.
I'll give her a little bit of props for that. It's the bare minimum.
You got to transform it. You got to comment on it. It's stealing content is lazy and it's wrong. And flagging for privacy complaints, because someone's talking about your wife or whatever else, if you have beef with somebody, is also wrong. Okay. People are allowed to make content and comments about cringe moments I've had in the past. That's
okay. So
when I had her on and I see the chat, I panicked because I really wasn't expecting all that. I wasn't expecting 2,000 oranges.
Okay, so here's where she's saying like she was unaware of this drama, unaware how bad it was, and didn't expect it.
I wasn't expecting 2,000 brooms. When people say, Chrissy, the chat tried to tell you. The chat tried to tell you. The chat was extremely hostile. The chat was extremely.
The chat was hostile because you were ignoring their comments that they were paying.
What am I going to say, Melanie? There's 1,000 oranges coming in. Let me put you in the waiting room. Well, I figured that I was.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If you're not gonna take a good faith effort to like acknowledge people's concerns, and like when your chat is like just going crazy, if you're not actually going to say, hey, look, let's take a look at this seriously, at least make a statement, say, hey, look, guys, stop sending the super chats in. I'm sorry, but this is not what this is about. We're not going to acknowledge it today. That would have been something. I don't think it would have fixed, like, it wouldn't have made people, but at least if you said, hey, look, stop asking these questions, we're not going to do this today, it would have been something. But no, she was more than happy to take the money off these people.
I was really overwhelmed and taken aback.
She was
by all
overwhelmed.
that. And
Overwhelmed while getting hundreds and hundreds
I
of dollars.
froze, and it's funny because on my screen here I have my questions from my interview with Melanie Mack, and one of them was, you addressed the quartering drama back in April. Now that some time has passed, how do you feel about it now? So it's like I did bring it up with her. And
So hold on. So she's at the same time she's saying she didn't know what this was all about, had no idea, even though she was on different podcasts where people told her exactly what it was about. That it was about the false flagging, and knows full well that that Melanie Mack was on this show, and she's like, and is aware that Melanie acknowledged that, and like but didn't know how bad it was, guys. Had no idea, because her friend Melanie had told her it was a nothing burger. Yeah, I'm not buying it.
even though I wasn't going to like center our chat around it. And when all those chats and angry messages came in, I just figured, well, I guess she talked about it as much as she wanted to talk about, and I don't want her to get her upset by seeing all of this. Like, was she expecting?
Then
all
say
this?
that.
And
Tell
again,
people you're
I
not
was
going to
trying keep
acknowledge
my
it. Tell them
stream
that it would have to be
like
another
an
time.
hour and a half, like I normally do. And the stream ended up going 2 hours and 15 minutes because of all of the super chats. And at the end, I was trying to like move it along.
She had to keep it going because
and I
people
wanted
keep
to
giving money.
read everybody's super chats because I know that people get upset when you don't do that.
So
But I also felt like, oh God, these super chats are.
So she's at the same time she's saying, I'm not going to acknowledge the super chats. I'm not going to read it because my friend Melanie has already acknowledged them. At the same time, I'm going to make the stream go longer for 2 hours, longer than I was planning to, so I can get all the super chats in that I'm not going to acknowledge and not actually going to ask in good faith. Yeah, okay, well done.
Upsetting her, and I feel like she
Can't imagine why
it
your
seems like she's
listeners are
talked
upset
about
with
it
you.
as much as she wants to talk about it. And I didn't want her to get upset, so I just was like, all right, a lot of these chats are saying the same thing. I'm not going to apologize for having her on. She's my friend. I wanted to talk to her about Catholicism, me getting confirmed, and her getting married. She caught the bouquet at my wedding. I wanted to.
Yeah, all that's great, but like when you're not even going to make a good faith like acknowledgement of your own listeners there, and she claims by she's and like part of this I can sympathize with. Part of this I can sympathize with. She's like, oh, I'm a busy mum now. I've got a son. I don't pay attention as much to internet drama as what I used to. Now that would hold some water, except that it's literally her job to keep up with internet drama. And I can appreciate now that she's a mum, like she would do that less, absolutely. But you're telling me that drama that directly involves like internet drama, which is her job, she gets paid for this, that directly involves a whole bunch of people she knows nothing about it. She can't ask her friend any hard questions, like when she's like kind of being, really disingenuous. It's just amazing. Okay, so we're going to skip forward to when she brings Britney Venty on, and some of these other girls as well.
To the point where he's in tears and making a fucking fit. But mommy's got to
That's
get
not
up in the
good.
quartering drama. So tough shit. Watch Sesame Street.
Oh yeah, so now she's saying, no, I guess it's okay, fine, I'll keep up with the internet drama. I'm just going to ignore my son. Like complete gaslighting here.
And that's what we had to do these last few days. So again,
Chrissy,
if
I'm
if
really
I had
sorry
did
that
better
happened.
Like I did today, back then, it would have been a completely different interview.
But when you're saying stuff like that, it makes it sound like, well, dang, I have to like take accountability here. And it's like, you open the stream with, I was bullied into it. And I don't think anybody would want you to say anything you don't mean if you're bullied into this. Like, who's bullying you into this? And all I'm saying
mean,
is that
open
there was a
Twitter.
conflict with Nina telling you about Melanie the day of in the message, hey, you're going to ask about Jeremy.
Yeah, I didn't see that
And
message
so there's
before
that.
I streamed with Melanie. I was focusing on Melanie and these issues that I'm dealing with. It was literally taking place the whole morning of before I streamed with Melanie. So I'm focusing on my private stuff, and then at night I had my stream with Melanie. So again, like hindsight is 2020. Um,
Yeah, I mean, what I said this to Chrissy before, and you know, she's correct. Hindsight is 2020, but in a situation like that, where like you may not be like up to date, or not necessarily not up to date, but not have connected the pieces yourself. You're trying to have a different.
Which she
kind of
had, by the
stream.
way. She
If you're
absolutely
having a
knew
stream
what
with
was
your
going
friend
on.
and someone's trying to like say, oh no, like switch the stream, have somebody else on. At the very least, you could say like, you know, I'll let Melanie decide if it's too much for her, then we can do a different stream where we talk about this. That way there's transparency for everyone. Because like
And by the way, it's something that also needs to be acknowledged is like incredibly scummy move by Melanie Mack to like go on your friend's podcast, not on your own channel, on somebody else's channel, when you know you're in the midst of like a whole internet beef that's going down, you're related to it, you've made statements on it that people are not happy with, and you've limited replies on your social media posts so people like, so you can just ignore people and not go on, and like you go on to this your friends program knowing full well that like the chat is going to be overrun with people asking questions about something that apparently you have no intention of acknowledging or talking about. Like, that's a scummy move. Like, either Chrissy Mayer is like lying through her teeth and like absolutely like that, and stating that Melanie Mack was like really scummy, didn't give her a heads up, didn't talk about this, didn't even, you know, approach the possibility like, oh, some people are going to ask some questions, I don't really want to talk about it, or hey, some people ask some questions, so long as they're being respectful, I'm more than happy to answer a few of these. I may not, something like these are women who've been online for a long time. They know how this goes down. That like it should not have been a shock to any of them. It's just amazing.
D-Day Cobra said it best. Like, the chat is the most important part of the stream. That's why we're here. It's what we do it for. So yeah, like, is there a better way to have handled that situation? I completely agree. I also understand being overwhelmed by chat in the moment. And I watch your content. I think you're a great content creator. I think you're coming from a place of truth and logic. I don't think that you're trying to be malicious. Neither do I don't think Chrissy's trying to be malicious, but I definitely don't think you're on here to be any kind of like, you know, just like get like your little digs in at all. But I do think that maybe there could be
I'm going to
some
jump
kind
ahead
of
a little
like,
bit, I think, here. It really carries on just very much like this. Chrissy Mayer kind of apologizes. She says several times that, oh, accounts shouldn't be flagged. You know, it's just like some
right, and
tropes
which
she
is like
repeats like it didn't really mean anything. Like, oh, I thought it was horrible that all these accounts, no accounts should be banned. All account lives matter. Like, it really didn't seem like it meant it. She just repeated it like on and on, same thing every time. I do also like that Britney Venty has got under her name the Orange Peeler. Like, nice work, Britney.
That you didn't see
I was
it.
like, it's late, and I'm, you know, I think that makes sense.
But is it that you didn't see it, or that you didn't want to Melanie to feel ambushed? Because it's like, it says you saw it, and Frank said it wasn't him that opened the message. He was busy upstairs with your.
Now, this is a really interesting part to stop at. I did see this bit here, because Chrissy Mayer's response after the podcast, why she didn't bring Britney Venty on, was she did not see the messages at the time. That's what she said. She said, I didn't see them. And Britney Venty pointed out, it's like, hey, I saw those messages. It was 40 minutes before you finished up the stream, the live stream, and it said that they were read. So somebody read those messages. So, like, are you lying here? This is where Britney starts to push back on this one, and it's really good.
Your toddler when we were talking on the phone. So I feel lied to, especially after seeing the Nina stuff. And then I'm getting done off the phone with you, and you're saying like, well, thank you for explaining it to me, but you knew a lot of this stuff already. And I just feel like to see that somebody who's worked with you so long And I don't feel like you're taking
I'm sorry.
accountability.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, Brittany. Again, like
I'm sorry you feel that way.
how I
She says
handled
that several
the
times.
stream poorly is no reflection on you. And I'm even
Who said it was a
As we
reflection?
discussed, you kind of framed it that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you got hurt. I'm sorry if like I explained to you on the phone, like this is a real shitstorm, and I stepped in a real pile of shit, and it's been a really bad week for me, and I'm it seems like a lot of people have sort of been like caught in the crossfires of this, so it's
So
not been
you're
it's
not
been a
really
good week for
responding to what I'm
anybody.
saying. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm asking you, like, hey, then why was there a red receipt by like 11:40 if you didn't see it? And I'm not getting, like, as somebody who okay, let's try to resolve this. Like, I need honesty, and I'm asking you, why are you saying you didn't see it, but there was the red receipt?
Yeah, I'm sorry you feel hurt by that. I think it was just too late.
Just
in the
not
stream. I was
acknowledging the
trying to
question at
wrap it
all.
up, and
So
I
did you
didn't-
see
I
it, yes
didn't-
or no? That's what I want to
didn't-
know, to be
I didn't want
honest.
her to feel ambushed.
So you did see it.
Finally, there we go.
By the time
I
I saw
just-
it,
I-
Brittany,
if
I
you
was
need-
wrapping the stream.
So yeah.
Okay.
is what she
So
said.
because I need honesty to like have the conversation. So
I know
okay,
it just
so
feels
she
like
saw
it's
it.
a little.
My problem
It's like it that painful. Like she didn't want to acknowledge at any time. It's like, yeah. Even though I lied and said I didn't see that message, yeah, I absolutely saw that message. I just didn't want to make things awkward. It's like, so you're just lying to your friends in order to not make it awkward. Like, even though like it was really obvious. It's like just amazing. Wow. We're going to jump right to the end here a little bit, because how this thing ends is just amazing, because it gets to the point. Lots of people were posting about this on X while this was going on, including the Kino Casino boys. And Ashton, or PPP, as he goes by on X, was like, all right, I feel like Chrissy's just dodging all these questions. She doesn't want to take any accountability. And once again, she's taking a whole bunch of super chats from people and not really acknowledging them. It's very suspicious. I took a look in this chat there. The chat was absolutely flying. It was ridiculously fast, and there were lots of super chats in there for people asking questions. However, when Chrissy was like, oh, I've got to read these, she several times in here, like, completely avoided the questions that Britney Venty was asking, and she, I've got to read these super chats, and just like brushed off like a really good question, like a direct question from Britney, and anything always, I've got to read these super chats. People are paid good money, and then the super chats that she seemed very much like she was like just brushing over all these, like, anyone who had some legitimate criticism, to specifically read ones that had criticisms of Britney, or ones that said, oh, Chrissy did nothing wrong, she doesn't have to explain herself. And so then at the point, yeah, like I said, this guy Ashton, PPP of the Kino Casino, he was like, send me a link, I'm free right now, put him on, I want to ask some questions, I will talk to her. And how this ends up is just amazing. Let's just see if we can get a little bit closer. We'll play
Definitely,
here.
this is part of addressing it. If people are ready to speak on it now, that shouldn't be something that's delayed, because it is not reflecting well. And I get it, it's overwhelming, but
So for context, they all, Britney Venty and this lady Kimberly are both saying, hey, this is probably a good idea. This is probably a good opportunity here to actually talk directly to the Kino Casino guys. By the way, on Monday, they are going to be doing another show. And if Chrissy has not, like, you know, like, kind of, like, covered her side of it, they're like, okay, well, you're obviously in agreement with the quartering. You haven't really really acknowledged or talked about any of this, other than said, oh, this was bad. So, you know, you're going to be part of this as well now. Which, you know, it's a shame. It shouldn't be, because these boys, they go hard. They go hard. They don't hold back. It's going to be funny. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be brutal, though. It's going to be a flipping bloodbath. So, yeah, and like Brittany and Kimberly are both in her corner. He's like, you should probably talk to him. If you talk to him now, it'll be much better. Go down much better if you talk to him now. And Chrissy's just
Like,
making excuses.
These are the people who are actually influenced, and I think that you're gonna do yourself more of a favor if you just like let them say their piece instead of like bringing this up later. Like we were sitting there waiting to just come on and say our thing. It's only gonna be worse in the end. So
I just feel like my channel's going to be terminated if I have them on, because aren't they banned from YouTube?
They're not, by the
Their
way.
Clips channel is,
Their
and
Clips
then
channel
Andy
was.
Worskey's personal
I
channel.
was
Okay.
gonna say Andy Worskey's
They allow you to
personal, and
feature people, but they don't allow them to have the entire
I was
content.
gonna say I've had people who have had their channels taken off on my
Also, by the way, Chrissy has had multiple people on her podcast who have been banned off YouTube before. So the rules are, you are allowed to be like a guest on another person's show or something like that. You just can't own or run the channel yourself. That's really where the rules are. So, and Chrissy knows this because she's had multiple people on her shows before who have been banned. So this is just her like grasping at straws to try and avoid accountability.
YouTube show, and like my YouTube show is not anywhere near any of this, and I've had to go through and purge a lot of my own stuff, but not because of like
So it seems like
censorship.
you want me to have my channel terminated by having them on, because
So there's like, once again, this is how disingenuous she gets, like to the point. Like I said, I like Chrissy Mayer, and it's just so frustrating to see her. Like she's just like this. This was gaslighting as well. Like, you know, she's putting out an argument there that none of these girls are male. I suppose it's more of a straw man. Is probably more correct. She's like saying, "Oh, you guys just want to have my channel banned." Absolutely not what they were doing. They're actually trying to protect you. They're actually saying, hey, look, do this now. Face the Kino Casino now. Like, have this out. Have a debate on your grounds now. Because if you do it later, like, it's going to be a whole lot harder to respond to. And, like, in the world of the internet, like, if you leave this, like, 3 days, that's an eternity. So yeah, like they're actually in her corner. They're trying to help her out, and Chrissy just does not want to go ahead with it. And saying, "Oh, you just want to get my channel banned?" No, they don't. No, she doesn't.
I feel like that's.
I don't. I'd be willing to look up right now whether a terminated person is allowed to just make an appearance on another person's stream. I'd be willing to bet that that's not.
So-
Because they also. Yeah, I mean, that's where I watched any of this. That's how I know anything of what's going on. I was listening to all this in the background, and their stuff was on YouTube. So,
Ashton's not banned. Andy is, and their editor's clip channel is, but Ashton is not banned.
Okay.
So it's all good. So if she could bring him on. Bring him on. She's not going to get banned for bringing him on. Just been acknowledged.
All right. I think I might.
So is
have
there a
to
problem
do-
with that? If it doesn't get you banned?
No, I'm not going to have them on tonight. It's
So she was just missing the round.
It's not something I plan to do. There's already so much. There's already like too much show here, and I'm gonna have to probably do a whole nother stream just to go over the super chats. So
those super chats. She's taking the
so I'm
money.
gonna
She's
probably
taking the
end it
money.
Here, I feel like I, said everything I want to say. Thank you, thank you, Cherry, for all. No. Thank you guys for coming on, and appreciate you guys hearing me out.
This
and,
girl Cherry just like
making
the whole
conclusions.
type was there.
Thank you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.
She just ends it like that. just gone. It's like, wow, that was amazing. That was so like almost 2 hours of her kind of apologizing, kind of saying this is bad. Also, I'm not really going to do anything about it. I don't really care, I suppose. So yeah, that was that. And so, like I said, Kino Casino are going to be back on Monday, and unfortunately, I feel like Chrissy Mayer is now going to be a heavily featured on that episode. So yeah, like I said, I still like Chrissy Mayer. I'm still gonna I'm still gonna be happy to see her. I hope she still comes on Friday Night Tights because I like her. Her jokes make me laugh. That's it. But yeah, this was not a stellar way to handle internet drama. And yeah, the next 24 hours are going to be interesting. That this the quartering drama continues. So anyway, that's what's happening. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please give us a like and subscribe. Go follow Britney Venty. She's got some great videos on this. Also, shout out to me and Copium and Camelot, who I relied on for some content here. So thank you very much, guys, and we will see you in the next video. Cheers.
He logs all mad with the paper cup crown.